so we're back from Essen, and we've been back for a couple weeks now, but I actually ended up catching con crud. Like Essen, something swept through Essen and just took out a whole bunch of people, and I was one of them. I'm feeling much better now, and so we're back, and so I was like, let's do a haul video! You did not know this is a parody video because haul videos are like a thing, so I was like, I'm gonna do a haul video, like a YouTube style haul video, so that's what we're doing. So the camera is very close. The camera is like at my fingertips. like, ah! We ended up getting 31 games from Essen, and yes, I did count, not including expansions. And yeah, there were 14 games on our list when we originally went into Essen, and I know 31 is totally more than 14, but it's okay. Like, we needed every single one of these games, 100% totally needed them. Not really. So some of these games are review copies, as in they were given to us for free to review or like play on our stream, which we are doing, by the way, twice a week until we play through all of these Essen releases. So, you know, you should subscribe if you're interested in watching playthroughs and learning how to play, maybe sometimes incorrectly, these games that we're listing here. Woo! Some of these we've actually already streamed, and there'll be links down below in the doobly-doo, or maybe I'll actually for once put them over the window box, like on the screen. So we're just gonna do this by size, like physical size. I have a stack that is to here, just out of frame. It's not entirely to the floor, but I have another stack over there, which is probably what would be to the floor if this stack wasn't on an ottoman. Oh, there we go. All right, number one, first off, we have Flitting Bad Wolf, designed by Chen Fan Chin, published by Homo Sapien Labs. This is a small two-player deduction game that was actually given to us as a review copy to play on our stream, so watch out for a stream of this coming soon. Thank you very much, Homo Sapien Labs, for giving us this to play. It's a two-player deduction game that's super small and travel-friendly, and I'm always down for two-player games, so very excited. Next up in the smallest category, we technically bought this before Essen. We got this at a game store in Frankfurt, but it was available at Essen, so I'm gonna count it. This would be Deep Sea Adventure by Jun and Goro Sasaki, published by Oink Games, and this is the German edition. It doesn't really matter, they're all language independent anyway, and they all have a bunch of instructions. But in this one, you 2 to 6 players are going on a deep sea adventure, and you're like diving and pushing your luck to pick up ruin ships, which give you points if you can bring them up, but the oxygen level of the sub will start decreasing as you come up with like more goods, and you're sharing oxygen with everybody else. So somebody can be like super greedy and basically cause everyone to die. I'm looking at you, Steve. Looking at you. So that's that. It's a lot of fun. We played that a couple years ago at Unpub with Daniel Solis, and we really liked it and have been wanting a copy ever since, so we got it. Next up in smallest game order, I think would be Fuji Flush. So Steve, this was not on my list originally. Steve played it one night, I think day 0, and he like was really excited and wanted to get it all the other nights or whenever we would like walk near the booth. But this is designed by Friedemann Fries, published by Stronghold Games, this one, and yeah, it's just a quick like party-ish game. It's 3 to 8 players. We played this at the pub a few times. I think it's in a few of the vlogs, the Essen vlogs when we play it. It's just fun. It's basically like a simplified Linko or a Bluxen, and I really like that video, as you know if you've seen the review of it. So yeah, we just got this and we played it, and this is definitely coming with us on our holiday travels this year. So there you go. Alright, next up, I think in regards to small factor, I think it's these ones. So I'm counting these as 1 games, maybe I count it as 2 in my count. I don't really know, but it's pick a polar bear and pick a seal, which I know technically came out earlier this year, or maybe it was even last year, but they totally had them at Essen, and I saw them and I was like, I need these so much. If you haven't seen my review of pick a bear, pick a pig, pick a dog, pick a dog, bear, pig. I really like these games. They're really silly. It's like 1 to 5 players, but if you mix up the ducks, you can play with more people and like a big thing. It's like a quick spot the difference game and a fun twist, and the art's really cute, and I'm really excited, and I'm kind of wondering if I can like mix all of my pickas together and just make this awesome picka game. I don't know. This one was definitely on my list. It's a 2-player game. I'm like almost knocking over the tower. This is Fan and Mallet. This is from Japan Games, and it's designed by Katsumo Tomika. I'm sorry. We actually played this the other night, and it is a lot of fun. It's a similar vein of like Battle Line, but you're going in a circle, and placement rules are a little trickier, so you have to like plan timing a little bit better. But we really liked it. We enjoyed it. I would say it's very similar vein of Battle Line. What are you licking, dog? Maybe not lick the surge protector. Just an idea. We really liked it, so we're gonna play some more games of it and see if we continue liking it. We try really hard to purge games really quickly when they come into our collection. Like, we play it once, and if we get like really bad feelings, we'll just ditch it, unless I'm specifically holding it on to it to try and do a review. So yeah, it's games that we have played, and if they're still in our collection, that might say something about them. But speaking of Battle Line as one of our like favorite 2-player games, which we have 2 versions of already, we now have a 3rd version. So I picked up Shot and Totten. I know that it was available in the States when I got it in Essen. Don't care, wanted it anyway. So this is Battle Line. It just is like with different art, and then they've like family ruled some of the variants where you don't play with the tactic cards. But if you haven't played Battle Line, because the art looked like really old, try pick up Shot and Totten if you like 2-player games that are strategic. It's a fun game where you each have a hand of cards, and there's 9 like spots that you're trying to gain control of by playing essentially like sets of 3, and the better sets are like royal flushes or flushes and straights and things like that. So it's not poker in any stretch of the imagination, but you use those kind of like combinations, and you're trying to gain control, and then there's tactic cards which make the game even more interesting. So yeah, we now have 3 copies of this game in our collection. If that doesn't say something about this game for you, I can't help you. Why are you watching my content? This one. So this was a review copy, but I actually would have very happily paid for it, but they were like, oh no, we'll totally give you a review copy. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sweet. So this is Small Star Empire. Steve played this, I think Wednesday night of the con, I'm not really sure. And he thought that I would really dig it, and he was correct. So this was a Kickstarter game, and this is the Kickstarter edition. Thank you very much, Akakona Games. But this is designed by Milan Tizevesky, and it's essentially, it's a very similar feel of like, hey, that's my fish, but the setup time is considerably shorter, and it's a little bit more interesting because instead of picking up spots, you're putting ships down on spots. So the board, you just like slot it together, and they're like module pieces, so you have a lot of options in the board setup, and then you have these 3 colony ships that you can move around, which are essentially like your penguins, and then you're laying down colony ships or trade ships to get points on the different hex spots. So I mean, it really is really close to hey, that's my fish, but the setup is so much faster, and it's interesting, and there's like additional like warp spots and different fun things that you can do with some of the textiles. So quite honestly, this might kick hey, that's my fish out of our collection, like 100% super serious. So I actually picked up this game for Steve. This was on our list for solo games. Steve really likes solo games. He doesn't play them as much because I'm like, hey, play with me. But this one, I just couldn't help, and I actually might play a solo game for once because this intrigues me. But this is Airborne Commander, designed by Aaron Loster, published by Stratamax Games, and it is a solo deck builder game where you are controlling paratroopers in World War II. Steve read the rules and tried to play it the other night, and he was like, ah! So the rules are kind of weird, but apparently it's a little tough. So they suggest like certain stacking of the decks for your first play, and then after you play it a couple times, then you do the randomness, because apparently it can really kick your butt. Next up we have Brew Potion. So Brew Potion is the Spiel Museum game from this year, designed by Andreas Pryor. And what happens is every year the Spiel Museum publishes one game and they release it at Essen. 2 years ago it was Port Royal, last year it was Oh My Goods, this year it's Potions Brew. Woo! Potions Brew is 3 to 5 players, and you're like playing cards as ingredients or as amulets to like charge up the amulets to get points. I need to stop looking at the viewfinder. But I know some people have already played it and it's like apparently not really good, which makes me sad. But I read the rules and I could see somewhere where like it's really weird. The rules are kind of meh in their writing and they've left some stuff out, at least in the English rules, so I'm kind of hoping that everybody that has played it thus far and didn't like it got the rules wrong, which is probably really, one, mean, and two, way too hopeful. But I'm holding out, okay? I'm holding out. So, yeah, watch for a stream of this when we get 3 to 5 players at the table. Because we are planning to stream all of the games that we got from Essen. If we haven't streamed them already, we will be streaming them. We're doing 2 streams a week at least right now to get through this massive stack of games. And yeah, if we've already streamed a game, there will be a link on my face, I guess. I might actually do that for once, or down below in the doobly-doo. And I'll mention that we've streamed it, so there's that. Okay, next. So next is Dungeon Rush, designed by Rustin and Eli Hakansson. Sorry. But it's published by Lapita.fi, which is Finland. But it's a game for 3 to 5 players. It's like you're trying to go through this dungeon and fight these monsters, and what ends up happening is everybody has 2 adventurers, and those 2 adventurers correspond to one of your hands, like each one is 1 hand, and then you flip these monsters, and then you see everybody has 2 monsters in front of them, and they flip all at the same time, and so you look at everybody's monsters and then you like slap your hands on the one that the adventurers are gonna fight, and no 2 people can slap the same monsters, but you can spin both your hands to slap the same monster, and you're trying to defeat the monsters, and if you can defeat the monster because you slapped correctly, you get the monster for points, and if you can't defeat the monster because you slapped incorrectly, they like wound you and it's a negative point. So we haven't played it yet. But it does seem pretty interesting and fun and silly. It's 3 to 5 players, so it's another one that we're gonna have to do with like a special guest. But yeah, this was a review copy from them. Thank you very much, Lapita. You actually gave me review copies for quite a few things, which is freaking fantastic, because one of those review copies was Honshu. I love Honshu. We actually pre-ordered it and then they just gave me a review copy, which was super awesome of them. Thank you very much. But it's a city, oh goodness. Okay, so it's a trick-taking tile placement city building game set in feudal Japan. Booyah, nailed it. But it's 2 to 5 players, which is pretty sweet. We've played this a lot. We've already streamed it. We streamed a 2-player game, and I did do an error in the rules, but I like did annotations to correct those rules, so please pay attention to that if you are playing to learn. I only screwed up the 2-player rules, so there you go. But we really, really like this game. It's designed by Kaylee Malimoja, and it's just super good. If you can pre-order this game, if you like any kind of trick taking, or tile placement, or like city building games, it's just really, it's great. This was the game of the con for both Steve and I, so most played game from Essen for sure. So this is Oh My Goods. This is actually the Dutch version that we picked up in the Netherlands at Friends Info, which is a awesome game shop / cafe in Amsterdam, and if you ever go to Amsterdam, go check it out. But we saw this Dutch version and we were like, we have to have this, because this box just says OMG in capital letters. It's amazing. But I'm pointing this out because it has, inside of it, the box is bigger, so we could fit the expansion. And I know I wasn't going to talk about expansions on this game, but it's worth it. So the Oh My Goods expansion, if you didn't know, it adds like a legacy effect. So there's these chapters in the game, which means that different end conditions have to be met for the game to end, and you like play through this chapter about the siege of this town by these bad guys, I guess. But it like tweaks the rules a little bit, and it's really good supposedly. We haven't played it ourselves yet. I've just read the rules. I don't know how I would stream the expansion, but we're definitely gonna be streaming an Oh My Goods like video at some point, and I did shoot a review of Oh My Goods, so that should tell you something right there. So, you know, if you want to learn more about Oh My Goods, just, you know, subscribe. Moral of the story is subscribe. Okay. I guess technically this is like smaller in some ways. Okay, so next up we have La Granja No Siesta, designed by, Andreas Odendahl, published by Stronghold Games. So this is, it's Lagrange but made into a dice game. So it's dice drafting, and all you do is you roll the dice and then you draft them, and then the dice have different resources on them, and then you mark off how you want to use those resources on your player sheet, and the player sheets are like straight up the Lagrange board game mat. Why is it so hard to get this out? Okay, here we go. Here's one. Here's one. So it's like straight up the whole Lagrange board. It's detailed. We've played it twice now, and it's a lot of fun. It's good. I will be honest and say we played Lagrange once, and it took us 2 nights because I was sick or really crazy busy or something. And we really enjoyed Lagrange. It's still in the collection. I can't remember specifically how I played, but the dice game was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. Watch for a stream on that coming soon. Next up, Las Vegas, the card game. So I wasn't sure if this was a standalone game or if it was an expansion. It's a standalone game. Every player is now gonna have their own deck of dice, and you're gonna draw 4 of those cards, and then on your turn you get to place those cards at the casinos like you would with the dice game. So you're not rolling dice, you're drawing dice, and if you don't place the dice cards, then you like discard them, and then basically every round you're going through your whole deck, I believe, maybe? I read the rules a while ago, but it's a card version of Las Vegas the dice game. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna like it or not. I do like Las Vegas the dice game a lot. Like, I really do enjoy this game. Haven't tried the card game. We're gonna see if it lives up to it. Xanadu by Javier I'm gonna stop now. We actually met the designer. He gave us the spiel. Our friend Nicholas Coe was telling Steve about this game. It's a worker placement card game, which was really interesting with like some resource management. And Steve was really interested, and Nicholas said it was super good. It's from Colombia, and he had a booth. The guy had a booth, and we literally bought the last copy that he was selling. We walked up just in time. He had 3 copies left, and there was a group of like 4 of us. Maybe he had 4 copies left and there were 5 of us. Anyway, one of us did not get a copy, but we didn't feel too bad because she was in the group with the people that like bought 2 copies. So he signed it for us. Really excited about this one. Yeah, I would go into more detail, but I think worker placement card game with resource management is probably enough detail at this point, and there's like other reviews and stuff out because it's been out since 2014, I believe. But yeah, really excited about this. We're totally gonna play it, and yeah, stream coming soon. I feel like I'm just gonna be saying that a lot for a lot of these games. I think this one wins next. Okay, so this is Fold It. Fold It is from Bibimbap Games, and it's designed by Tayungo. And this is just a fun, like, I wouldn't even call it a dexterity game unless you really suck at folding. But it's a game where you have this cloth and it has food on it, and there's a card that's flipped, and everybody is racing to fold this piece of cloth to match the card, and then you grab the thing, and there's one less thing than there are players playing, so it's an elimination game. But we've played it a few times. It's really fun. I do enjoy pulling it out and playing with it. It's overly simplistic, but like, you're like, oh, it's a stupid game, it's really easy, and then you get a card and you're like, my brain, what? So it's super fun. We did enjoy it, and as somebody asked me, like, is it gimmicky or is it fun? It's fun. It would not have come back from Germany. I would not have lugged this box back with the insert in entirety if it was not fun, people. We have Funkschlager, which is Power Grid, the card game. They did have it in English. I totally screwed up and didn't realize that and bought it in German. Woo! But the good news is English rules are out now and the cards are completely language independent. I haven't read the rules yet because they were in German. The English ones literally dropped yesterday. So I'm like, but we love Power Grid, simply love Power Grid. So Power Grid the card game, sign me up. Okay, next up we have Coffee Roaster. This is designed by, oh my goodness, where's the designer? The designer is listed, okay. Sorry, this game, I was like, it's in Japanese, I can't even. The designer is Sashi. and it's from Homo Sapien Labs. This was another one that they gave us a review copy for. It is a solo beanbag building game where you are trying to roast coffee beans in a certain way. I know some people have already gotten copies of this, and it just looks super awesome and fun, and Steve likes solo games, and I really wanted to get him some more solo games that he could play, and this also appeals to me to play as a solo game, so I was interested in this as well. So watch for a stream of this where either we play it co-op or we play it solo. Also, Ichi, please stop barking. 13 Days! 13 Days is a like slimmed down version of Twilight Struggle. Apparently it's a 2-player only game of the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's published by Ultra Pro Games and is designed by Daniel no. Wait, what? Oh gosh, it's designed by Daniel Peterson, I'm just gonna go there, and Askir Granmood, so bad at names, but Steve and I got Twilight Struggle for Christmas last year, and we've only played half of the game, but we really enjoyed it. The problem is it just takes a long time, and our brains have to be in a right way, and we'll play 2-player games that take a long time, but typically when we're playing 2-player games, we're playing like several 2-player games in a night, like over dinner or something like that. So 13 Days really appealed to us. This is actually a review copy, which I'm really excited about. I was really excited to get this game anyway, and then they were like, you want a review copy? And I was like, heck yeah! So we're definitely gonna stream this. Thank you, Ultra Pro, for giving us this review copy. And I just want to say, I'm calling out what we're getting as review copies because I think it's important. We typically, like legitimately 100% truthful statement, this is the most review copies I have ever gotten. Like, I don't know what happened in regards to me being seen as a credible reviewer, but like, I got a lot of review copies this year at Essen, and I have never gotten this many review copies in my life. So thank you very much everyone that has given us review copies, and also to you the viewers for making people want to give us review copies. That says something about our content, I guess, which makes me super excited and also nervous at the same time. But yeah, I want to call out when we are given something as a review copy versus when we purchase it, because sometimes it can like make people flavor certain things, but in the other way, I won't take a review copy of a game that I'm not interested in. So there's that. I was offered review copies, and I get emails quite frequently from Kickstarters asking if I will get a review copy of their game. I won't accept a review copy of a game that I don't think I would like, because I'm not gonna make a review of that. So there's that. So asterisks. Okay, next up. Speaking of review copies, so we got Planet Defenders. This is from Emperor S4. It's another one of the Taiwanese board game publishers that like are in the Taiwanese developer coalition. I guess that's how you would say it. But it's designed by Weimin Ling, and I am excited about this one. So mostly because the arts. But yeah, so I honestly, it's like strategy, luck, and interaction, and I'm not 100% on how you play it, but it's 2 to 4 players, and the art is just adorable, and they offered to just, yeah, so I was like, heck yeah, we'll stream that. So thank you very much, Emperor S4 Games, and all of the game designers at the Taiwanese development group. There's some great stuff coming out of there. Like, seriously awesome stuff. So Steve really likes war games. Like, really likes war games. He has, like, on our shelf, he's got 3 shelves, like these size, 3 of these shelves right here of war games that can be played 1-player or 2-player. And he was there and he saw a booth, and at the booth he was like, because they had some war game that had been out and is like really crazy hard to get in the United States, but like they had several copies at the show because they're a European based publisher, and he was just like, oh my god. But the box was huge, and there were 3 games from this publisher, and they all had the same crazy huge box, and they use wooden bits for the lines, and when you have your opponents out, you like put stickers on one side, and like they're kind of like Stratego place mats, but like on a real map of a country. Anyway, he was super duper crazy excited, and then he kept going by the booth to the point where the guy like recognized him and started calling him out and like would chat with him, because Steve went by that booth probably like 3 times a day. 3 times a day. And he took me by the booth several times, and I was just like, the suitcase space is like a problem because the boxes are just way too big. So then the very helpful salesman was like, oh, well, we have this game, which is Moscow 41, which is a smaller box size, and it's their latest edition of that line of games, where they basically took everything that they learned in the other 3 games and they boiled them into a smaller box with like, it's interesting, the like size of the spaces on the board are bigger, and like the iconography is easier to read, and the time to play is a little shorter, and the box size is smaller. And so Steve was like really excited about this, and he went by several times, and eventually I was just like, you can get it, like yes, you can get this game. So Steve is really excited about this game. I don't know much beyond what I just told you. It like uses wooden components, and like your units face you, but like your opponents can't see them, and it's not until you meet on the battlefield that you reveal what size where your opponent is. But it plays, I believe, it plays 2-player or it plays solitaire, and so I have graciously, no, I have told Steve that I will very happily play this game with him on a stream 2-player, because I will play war games with him, just kind of infrequently. Size thing is kind of out of whack because the stack is like no longer by size, so we're just gonna do whatever I pull out of the stack. So next up, we have Maduris. So Maduris is designed by Stefan Dora and Ralph Zerlin. And it is, I call it Taxman the game. Like, it's to teach kids about taxes. There's a druid and he goes around and he collects offerings, but you have to give him money or you lose points, so it's just taxes. But I actually played a, like, not a demo, it was a playtest of this. I just keep fixing the box lids. I played a playtest of this at Gen Con this year, and there's vlog footage. It's like day 3. It's the day my backpack was stolen. I like got my camera and my backpack back right before I started playing Maduris, so maybe that is one of the reasons why I liked it so much. But I really like this game, and it immediately went on my buy list after I played it. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited to stream it. I don't know how well it will work 2-player. We're gonna try it. I don't know if I'll stream it 2-player to start, because the map gets smaller for 2-player, which is good because it's a little bit, it's not area control, but it's like a little bit area control. So we'll see. But Maduris, it's from the Haba Family Line game that's coming out. They had their 2 other games that are also in the Family Line this year. One is like a hidden auction push your luck game, which I saw at Gen Con as well, and that was interesting. And the other one is like a little simpler, kind of in the veins of Spookies in regards to like complexity. But it didn't really interest me, so I didn't get it. But Maduris, oh yeah. So this is Great Western Trail by Alex Pfister. This is like on everybody's list. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I did get a demo of it at Essen, and you can see that in the vlog, I think, maybe. But this is published by Eggert Spiel and Stronghold Games, and Stronghold even made it part of the Great Designer series, so that tells you something. But in this one, it's a deck builder where you're also moving your like dude on the map to try and get your cattle to the train station, and then you deliver your cattle further and further down the train line to get more and more points. So there you go. Oversimplistic explanation. We will definitely 100% be streaming that soon. Yes. This game we actually already streamed. So Lorenzo Il Magnifico, designed by a whole bunch of people. Virginio Gigli, oh god, I'm not even gonna try. They're designed by this people. Lorenzo Il Magnifico is a worker placement game where dice assign the value of your workers, and you're like sending them out to different parts of like Florence to try and gain influence, and you do that by gaining cards, and the cards can either give you resources or can allow you to like convert resources into other things like points, or they'll allow you to like get special action benefits or something like that, or they'll like let you Okay, so the memory card filled up, so I have to talk faster. I don't really know where in the Lorenzo Il Magnifico chat the thing just stopped, but this game is in the similar vein of like Grand Austria Hotel, and I would say it's a little lighter because you have less to like track and maintain, and you're not as dependent on the dice when like you can't get coffee because the dice just won't come up with coffee, and there's no sixes in Grand Austria Hotel. So it's a little less dependent on the dice in regards to like being screwed over by stuff. Cool, okay. Next up we have Dokmas by Mikko Panacalio, published by Lapita.fi. This was another review copy that they gave me. Thank you very much. But this game, we were at 2 meetups. We were at the No Pun Included and actually LOL meetup, and somebody there was talking about this game and like how awesome it was, and how she was shocked that it wasn't as well known. And then I started looking into it a little bit more, and like I heard more and more people talking about it. So I went by the booth and they gave me a copy of it for a review, which is awesome. So we're gonna be streaming this. I don't actually know much about it, but I do know that I kept trying to get a demo and the tables were always booked. But yeah, so it's a fast-paced board game with a constant changing board. The game board consists of 8 pieces that players can move and rotate. The goal of the game is to spread your tribe's influence and gain the favor of Dokmas, the ancient god. So there you go. That's all I got. Okay. Whee! Okay, next up, Cottage Garden. So Cottage Garden was this game got the most damage from our like hauling experience. We brought back over 100 games in 6 suitcases. So there you go. For other people, these games are just ours. But Cottage Garden is a tile placement game where the pieces are like Tetris pieces, and a lot of people have been comparing it to Patchwork, like it's a 4-player version of Patchwork, which is somewhat true. Patchwork is more of an economic game, and Cottage Garden is less of an economic game and more of like a timing game and more of a spatial game than Patchwork, I feel, because there's a lot more significance put on the actual like spatial, how you lay out your pieces and stuff, and you still have to do a timing element. It's just different where time is not one of your primary like currencies that you're using. We've played this quite a bit. This would be our number 2 most played game. Fuji Flush might be winning actually for number 2. So this might be number 3. But we did a stream of this. We did a stream of this in the lobby of the hotel the night we got it at Essen. So you can watch that by link down below in the doobly-doo or click my face. But yeah, it's really interesting. People are really either hot or cold on this game. Like they either expect amazing great things from it or they're like really happy with it. It's a lightweight game. It's not meant to be crazy heavy. Like it's just, yeah, we really like it. We enjoy it. This will probably be one of the titles that we bring with us to play for the holidays because it's a game that I could get my family to play, like 100%. Okay, oh yeah, that's, okay. I am so excited that this actually was released. So there was a lot of stipulation or concern that Railroad Revolution, designed by Marco Cagnata and Stefania Nicolini, Stefania Nicolini, whether or not this would be published by What's Your Game, whether or not it would make it to Essen actually, because they were playtesting it like a month ago. But it did make it, and it's printed and it's out, and I haven't played it yet, which makes me super sad, but Steve has played it and he says, Tiffany, you're gonna love this game. You're running a railroad and you're developing it and like you're building tracks across the country, and I'm just really excited about it. I really want to stream it. Like really, really bad. I want to play it. I think we might be streaming it Thursday actually, which actually probably already happened. So maybe we've already streamed it. I don't know. When is this video released? But yeah, this one I was really excited about. It was on my list and I'm really happy that I got it. Okay, and the last, I think, game, like full game, not expansion, that we got, oh, by size, Feast for Odin. Okay, look, like I know that this was out in the US when we were in Germany, but like, is your US copy signed by Uwe Rosenberg? No, I don't think so. So of course I'm gonna get this in Europe. Also, Z-Man is charging like $30 more per copy in the US, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. But Feast for Odin uses the Tetris tile placement mechanic that he was developing in Patrick. And if you didn't know the story, so the story is that Rosenberg has been working on Feast of Odin for quite a while, and he's been working on it for so long that normally what he does is he works on a game like Agricola, and then he'll publish a smaller version that is like 2-player only. But he did it in the reverse order because he was working on this game so long and he really liked the Tetris mechanic that he was building with the tiles, and so he designed Patchwork in the middle of designing Feast for Odin, and then he was like, I actually really like this mechanic, so then he designed Cottage Garden. And it just so happens that Cottage Garden and Feast for Odin came out at the same time. But this game I know is in development for like 3 years, maybe 2.5 years. But I haven't played it yet. I really want to play it. But a lot of people have been saying that it's like one tiny itty bitty step above Caverna. So if you're a fan of Caverna, you'll like this game. If you're a fan of Agricola but not Caverna, I don't know. Oh! I just want to say I'm holding it on still. I think Steve's back. Is Steve back? Come on in, Steve. Xena the puppy is back, and she is jumping over the pile of games that I currently have on the floor. Oh, yep, she's doing laps. Thank you, Xena. Okay, woo! And that's how the electrical fire started, woo! Okay, so that's our Essen haul video. Great timing on Xena coming back. Thank you for watching this really long video that filled my memory card. Sorry for all the random distractions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe. And as always, you should subscribe anyway if you're interested in watching any of the streams for any of these games that I talked about. But after this crazy streaming Essen whatever reviews will continue, I do actually have 3 reviews currently just waiting to be released. So there's that. Oh! Okay, hang on. I got it. No! Okay, so, yeah. That's what I got. I hope you enjoyed this video. It started out being a parody of actual haul videos. Oh god, she's gonna knock over that stack of games. And then it turned into just me ranting about the board games that I got at Essen. So I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, bye! Okay.
Yeah, for the rest of the walk, she was like, yeah, whatever. And then we turned on the 60-second off Steel. And she was just like, ah. Actually, I think it was when we crossed Harold. And she got excited.
Just as soon as I put the camera on you two, you just get out of frame. Thanks. Thanks, girls. Thanks a lot.
That's cool.
But like, so this is the giant stack of games that is at my feet. There's folded over here, which is on a very dog-haired cart, and then this is the stack that I was building, and it's all on Power Grid the card game. So there you go. Yeah. Okay, so I totally broke down all my filming equipment because I was like, sweet, we're done, and then we're totally not done. There were 3 other games. Okay, so we're doing this handsy style because we're handsy people. So we also got Roads, designed by Peter Boots, which is a great name. But Roads is a game for 2 to 5 players, and you have these like boats that are going up the canal. Steve called it like local Panamax or something, I don't even remember. But I was really excited, it looks really good. So that is that game. And then the last 2 games were also review copies from R&R Games. Thank you so much, R&R Games. One of them, so Toria, Toria has these like castle thingies on the corners of the board, and how the castle is facing you via perspective will give you various bonuses or interesting stuff, which is an interesting mechanic to me that I've been exploring for other purposes. So I was very interested in getting a copy of that. And then the other game that they give us would be Ulm. So Ulm is the game where there's these like action tiles, and the action tiles are in a grid, and on your turn you draw another action tile from a bag and then you push it into the grid, and depending on which row or column you like push the tile into depends on which actions you get. And I actually demoed it at the show, and you can see that in a vlog, and I really liked it, and so I asked for a review copy and they gave me one, so we're gonna stream it. Okay, the camera's really heavy and I'm holding this by the hand. Oh my goodness, okay, I'm really done now. Okay, bye.